good this morning? Oh, good. It feels like your typical management seminar, doesn't it? All right, so let's get to it this morning. First of all, if you don't have a notebook, raise your hand. If you don't have something to write on, great. Find a human nearby, because today what we're going to share with you is probably worth writing down. So you want to definitely capture it. Years ago, I met a very, very successful man. He taught me something I never forgot for the rest of my life. He said, Tony, whatever you do in your life, whenever you find you're going to go someplace where there's some great ideas, some great resources, he said, always make sure you take a pen and paper. He said, because what you want to do is you want to be able to capture those ideas and cement them to paper so you can review them in the future. In fact, what he got me to do was to keep a journal, and I would highly encourage you, by the time you come to the next management session, or maybe even during a break today if you wanted to get yourself a hardbound journal. Hardbound journal meaning not a loose leaf. And you can get those in all kinds of stationery stores, some religious bookstores. And the bottom line is, if you keep a journal, you don't even write it every day, but when you get thoughts or ideas, you capture it there, you can't believe what'll happen. You'll start to accumulate a wealth of knowledge and ability and skills and resources that not only will help you, but you can help other people as well. I've been keeping journals myself now for about a dozen years. And I go back and review my life, and it has two real values, I think. One is, it gives you a chance to really see how much you've grown. Because how many of you have kids? I'm curious. How many of you have somebody come up and say, boy, your kid's really growing? You go, really? Because you're so close to them, you don't notice it as much. How many found that to be true? Guess what? It's even worse with yourself. Sometimes we don't give ourselves credit for the amount that we're growing, but I'll tell you one thing, if you keep a journal, it won't be hard to see how much you're growing. Because you'll see the kind of goals you had back then, the kind of things you thought back in those days, and you'll begin to see the evolution of your growth. Also, I personally believe that if life's worth living, it's worth recording. And it's an incredible gift to give to your children, because someday they get to know exactly how you were at different times in your life, and they get to learn your lessons without having to go through it. So I highly encourage you to do that, but as a very minimum, let's make sure we take notes. You guys ready to crank? Yeah. Crank. Let's do it. So this whole weekend is about connecting and communication. Really, it's about communication and relationship, how to make everything more worthwhile. And the technology that we're going to share with you this weekend has a unique name. We call it reality bridging. Reality bridging. I'm going to make you go into a deep trance trying to figure out what that means, right? We're going to clarify it for you. But reality bridging, it's the technology of vital communication and true freedom. Because what you're going to find is, you're going to find there's going to be a vitality in your communication when you start using the techniques we're going to teach you. And there's going to be a sense of absolute freedom where you can share with somebody what your real feelings are and never, ever offend them. They won't have to hear you and cry and feel bad, and you won't feel so bad either. We want to make sure that communication is vital, that you're always connecting, that you feel good when you're communicating, so does the person you're communicating with, and it produces results. That's our outcome. And to be able to do that without having to worry creates an unbelievable level of freedom for people. Because how many of you, be honest, have felt feelings at times and you were upset, but you didn't share it because you didn't know how, or you didn't share it because, well, you thought, well, maybe it's really about me, or you didn't share it because you didn't want to offend somebody even though you were mad or upset? How many have had that experience in the past? And when you don't share something, what happens when you just keep it inside and build it up? Yeah, it festers. Does it get better or worse? It gets a lot worse, and eventually what happens, then you blow up about something that could have been handled so much easier along the way. But then there's the other approach, which is you're looking for things on a regular basis to be able to give people feedback about. And some people develop that habit. Or you communicate in a way where basically you're communicating your feelings, like you're upset, but do you always have all the information? No. And so you're making a decision about how to feel based on false information. How many of you have ever gotten upset and later on felt a little dumb because you found out you were upset about something you really shouldn't have been upset about? So one philosophy says, keep it inside. The other philosophy says, well, get it out. Well, what if you get it out and then you find out you were wrong? By the way, do we like being wrong? No. So then what would we probably do? Justify, defend? Well, yeah, I didn't know that, but if you've done that before. Right? And that does not make a relationship work. Plus, that person gets upset. It's kind of like, anybody ever come up to you and say, why are you upset? And you go, I'm not upset. You go, no, yeah, you are. You go, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. Well, I'm getting upset. Okay, that also happens unless we're really clear. So what we're really going to do is we're going to start our whole basis of studying of communication to remember one thing, and write this in your notes if you would, and that is the quality of your life is directly related to the quality of your communication. The quality of your life is the quality of your communication, period. The quality of your life is the quality of your communication. Now, pretty basic idea, nothing earth-shattering, But I'm here to tell you that's your entire life comes down to this. The quality of your entire life comes down to the quality of how you communicate. With whom? No. With whom first do you think determines how you... That's right. The quality of your life starts with the quality of how you communicate to yourself. That's where it all starts. How you feel is not based on the environment. Is it based, like how you feel, is that determined based on like whether or not you have lots of money? Yes or no? I got a little mixed reaction on that one. They go, well, no, it's not. No, absolutely not, no. How's that for incongruent communication from a lot of you, right? Okay, some of you have a little mixed feelings about this, don't you? But let me ask you a question. How many of you know somebody who has tons of money and is still not happy? Ah, interesting. How many of you know somebody who doesn't have any money at all but seems to be very happy? So does money determine your happiness, yes or no? How many know if you had lots of money, though, you'd be happy, you're different? Okay. If I had your money, I'd be happy, no problem. Give me your money and we'll try, okay? People say money can't buy happiness, don't know where to shop. No, see, that's not going to do it, is it? It's not the money, it's how you communicate to yourself about money, your lack of it, or the abundance you think you have. By the way, can people have an abundance but communicate to themselves that they're still in scarcity, yes or no? Yes. Absolutely. So money doesn't do it. Is how you feel determined by whether or not the weather is good? Yes. Oh, really? Are there people in freezing weather who are very happy, yes or no? Are there people in hot weather that are very happy, yes or no? Are there people that are in either one of those weathers in the opposite degree that have opposite feelings? Has that transferred you out yet? Yes. See, the weather doesn't determine it. Is it, whether you're happy or not, determined by whether or not other people say they love you? They go, yes, but it shouldn't. So you sit there and should all over yourself, huh? Okay. Okay. You're right, it probably shouldn't, but a lot of us connect that real directly. But I got a question for you. Somebody comes up to you and they tell you, I love you. Or they come up and they hug you. Or they look at you that certain special way. Or they kiss you passionately. And you have these feelings inside. You begin to come to attention, gentlemen. Now, when all that stuff happens, my question for you is, what made all that happen? Was it really the kiss that did it? Oh, yes, sir. No, I don't think so. If that's true, kissing your dog would get you excited. It wasn't a kiss. It was the meaning you associated to that particular moment when tissue touched tissue in that unique way. That's really it, isn't it? It isn't actually... Yes! It isn't actually the event itself, is it? It is rather what we communicated to ourselves about that event. Somebody hugs you and you feel good. Do they make you feel good, yes or no? No, what makes you feel good is you've got a set of rules inside your head that say, if somebody touches me quite like this, they look like that, sound, smell, feel like this, then I get to say, ooh. Okay. And so you say, okay, it's time to feel good, and your brain goes, and you start feeling good. Right? So the bottom line is we determine how we feel by the way we communicate to ourselves, by the meaning that we communicate about a situation. See, it's not the event that determines how we feel. It's the meaning that we associate to the event that determines how we feel. And that meaning is something we create and we communicate to ourselves.